I can still hear the hollering, the screaming, the crying. It was the middle of the night. They stopped the train and it was very, very dark. We arrived in Birkenau and it was awful. This was different. In Majdanek, they took in everyone. But here it was segregation. They wanted you to still be healthy and able to work, or at least to have energy. They pulled apart an old couple because, they didn't gas men and women together. So they pulled them apart and there was screaming. The children who came from our camp already didn't have any toys, but the ones who came from freedom came with toys. The toys were taken and there was screaming. The parents pulled children towards themselves, and the Germans, they pulled the children away. And they were hitting people, and they were taking the children out and beating them and sending the message, if you don't get in line, that's what happens. And you saw the kids walking to the ovens, and then the parents, all of a sudden there was screaming. I don't know how they saw I was able to work, that I had energy. For 4 days, I was in that coal car from Majdanek to Auschwitz. So when we came out, we were completely black, only our eyes showing. Even after the war, I would ask myself, why am I alive? And the rest perished. So they said, now you go to the showers. They said the same thing to the other groups who went to the gas chambers. When we came out of there, I couldn't see myself. We didn't have mirrors, but we could see each other. And when we saw how we looked, how we dressed in prisoners' clothes with a bald head and a number scratched in our arm, we cried, we said to each other, is that you? We didn't really know how to behave. We couldn't recognize each other. So we just laughed. There was one episode where I did something really crazy. One time we were sent to work in the fields and I found a wild duck and I took that wild duck. I knew it was dangerous, but I didn't care. I was wearing a big man's jacket and I put the duck in my armpit and it was still alive. So with my other hand, I held its beak so that it wouldn't make any noise. And I just walked the duck straight into Auschwitz. It was horrible. I had my jacket full of feces. It was all over me. But I didn't care because I could provide. I don't know what happened to the duck. We had a market between us, so I sold it for a loaf of bread and a jar of jam. That night we shared it and we had a terrific dinner. We sat in the back and we ate it all and had a blast. Everybody said to me, how did you do it? And I myself, I couldn't believe it. But I said to them, you see, hunger trumps life.